Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I had a few emails from people over the last few videos I've done, which was nice to hear from you. And they were asking, oh, how do we awaken? Which is a good question. How do we awaken? I think we are waking up. And if you're looking into this kind of path, you're waking up because you're looking for something that's taken you out of the sleepy, mechanical way of the majority of the people of this world. So it is quite surprising how many people do this kind of thing, over the last few years with what's been going on. I've been meeting lots of people online that I probably would never have met otherwise. And I'm quite anti going to Zoom online talks and things like that because I try to do things in person. But people have been getting in touch. And it's nice to meet other people that are, struggling to fathom the gist like I am. And, all of us that are doing this work. But waking up is difficult. And I had a few people that I've spoken to, I've woken up. You have, you're not fully awake, but you're waking up like the rest of us and becoming more aware. We've got to be aware of what's going on with ourselves in the inner side, in world and the outer world. So I was looking through a bit of Life is Real, and then I came across some quotes from Life is Real, only then when I am, which is what we're trying to do, be real. Life is only real when I'm awake. Otherwise, the rest of the time it's just a program. It's just a fake life that we're trying to be a part of. We're being caught up in all the mechanicalness of it, everything. So when we're trying to be awake, we're trying to make our life as real, us to be as real as we can, to be the real I that Gurdjieff talks about, real I, capital I. And it says in Life is Real about the all centers awake state, the state of being able in their waking state to think and feel on their own initiative. And that is so important about doing this all on our own initiative. We've been brought up programmed, we've been brought up told how to think, how to feel. We have it put to us from our peers, from our teachers, from our people we hang out with as we're growing up. I fell into a bit of a bad crowd when I was a teenager and just did what they said because it was, a thing to do. I actually just written a piece about all this for a magazine about how difficult it is to belong. And if you want to belong, you often just follow along with the crowd, or you follow along with the gang that you're with, or you just, if you want to, let's take a horrendous example would be, a woman that gets beaten by her husband. After a while, she just gives in and goes along with him just so that she doesn't get a beating. And some people live in fear, which is the way to the dark side. But fear also lowers all our vibrations. Whereas being awake should be lifting our vibrations, and we become aware of what is causing the fear. And we have to figure out how to handle it, how it affects us inside. Because if we're feeling fear inside, it brings our vibrations down, it lowers our immunity, our immune system, our mental system can kind of freeze in a way. Our heart starts beating at the wrong vibration. It's difficult to overcome fear unless one has strength and courage, which is very important in this work. And I try to send out prayers to everybody for strength and courage. I often do the awaken to conscience prayer out to people to send them vibrations out. But a lot of people stay with things through fear that they're going to get told off, fear that they're going to get beaten, fear that they're doing the wrong thing. And then they can't attune to what their subconscious and their gut or whatever is telling them to do. They might have a niggling feeling, which makes it worse because then they're wondering, where's this niggling feeling coming from that's prodding at them, telling them what they're doing is wrong. Don't live in fear. But he says in Life is Real, only then when I am, it is obligatory, necessary, to do self-observation chiefly in order that such undesirable facts, cognized only by his mind, which are still empty of significance for his common presence, gradually assimilating into his nature, should begin to crystallize a steady conviction about everything learned, and through this, as it must lawfully proceed, should come forth in his common presence for the possibility of further work on himself. An energy of great intensiveness, with the help of which alone is a further work on himself possible, and which is manifested in a persistent striving to achieve the power during the daytime in his, so to say, waking state, for a definite time to remember himself. It is difficult to remember yourself. And that is, again, is part of the waking up scenario. We have to be aware of what we're doing, aware of how we're thinking, feeling, and being in certain moments. And we so easily get distracted by things. Meditation's a good way of perhaps starting off if you don't really know how to still yourself, so that you can get tuned, acclimatized, know yourself. One of the most important things, know thyself. Just a little brief sitting and just being still for a few minutes and sensing your body, sensing what your heart's doing, sensing how your solar plexus is going round and round or not, sensing what thoughts are coming through your head and just letting them go, just letting them pass by. It's quite weird when you're trying to sit and be still, what your mind does to you. Sends all these strange thoughts in, distractions. We just got to let them go, because them distractions are waiting for you to pounce on them and go, oh yeah, that happened, or oh my gosh, I've got to go and do this. Just got to let it go. Just have a few minutes, even if it's 2-3 minutes, is better than doing nothing. And as you're getting to know yourself over time, do this little exercise. Gurdjieff talks about the I am. I've discussed that in shows, in other shows, of the breathing in, breathing out, sensing in your body, perhaps sensing I am in your limbs, in your torso, in your head, taking it one at a time. I've even been doing lately the Lord have mercy for each one. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy in my limbs. Lord have mercy in my arms. Lord have mercy in my torso. But I breathe in and say it. Lord have mercy. Breathe out. Lord have mercy in my head. Oh, my head needs lots of mercy, dear Lord. Or whatever suits you, whatever mantra or saying suits you. But as Gurdjieff says in this little quote, we're crystallizing ourselves, and over time we've been programmed, as I was saying before, by our peers, by our learned teachers. We don't have many learned teachers out there. By our teachers, by our peers, by our parents. And what they're teaching us to be has been crystallizing in our bodies, which is why sometimes it's quite difficult to break that programming. So we're breaking down that programming and then recrystallizing ourselves, rebuilding ourselves up with them right thought forms, right emotional feelings, right actions, trying to be not tense, relax, notice what your body's doing. But it's quite interesting that Gurdjieff uses the word crystallization. We have our crystals. I'm trying to see if I've got loads around somewhere, but none within reach. And as some of you might know, crystals hold a lot of energy in them. They can hold a lot of, they even use them for our phones, for computers, because they can hold information. So if we're trying to crystallize ourselves inside, we're trying to we're crystallizing ourselves by programming ourselves with what we want to be, how we want to be in this life, the kind of person we want to be. So I like it that Gurdjieff said you crystallize yourself. And I still think in the past, I've read a lot of Edgar Cayce, where he talks about how the crystals were part of the technology that was used in Atlantis and Lemuria, but it can be used for good or bad. So we have our crystals that, I'm sure many of you know about people that carry crystals with them. Maybe you're one of a person that carries crystals with them. We're supposed to be putting good positive mantras into them so that we can feel that vibration in us. Holding a crystal in your hand that's got a good mantra that's been said into it, kind of, I was going to say ignites it, but it gets it going. Crystals are magic. They set off some kind of piezoelectric energy. This is why they can be found in the stone circles and the standing stones and megaliths that are across the world. They've used a special stone that has quartz in it, like this. This is selenite actually that I'm holding. Selenite's what's used in TVs. So this is how they transmit the screen so that we can see the programs that are put on the TV. So we're doing the same thing as when we're trying to put a mantra into a lovely piece of quartz. We want to do into ourselves. We want to put positive mantras and ideas into ourselves. Also, we're something like 90% water. And I don't know if you've seen the Masao Emoto exercises, which he's done on glasses of water. So he has two glasses of water, say, and on one of them he writes the word peace, and on the other one he writes the word war. And then he puts a piece of water under a microscope so he can see the cells, the cellular structures. And the water that's got peace written under it makes a beautiful formation. They're like snowflakes. Snowflakes are water. But the one with war is all kind of crippled, dark, not formed very nicely. So we're doing that to ourselves. If we can do positive words into ourselves, that's affecting the water within us that's going around our body. And if we're doing negative thoughts, we're just putting ourselves down and destroying ourselves, because we're making the water inside us go all well, we want to be nice and pretty and, well, not just pretty, that sounds terrible, but harmonious, a beautiful snowflake, not a ugly dark snowflake. So this is all part of the awakening process of we have to work on ourselves. You don't just suddenly have a ta-da. We've got a, oh, I see something's different. I realize that I can live a different way. Then we have to work on ourselves, and it keeps on working. It's a continuous process. I did have a bit of all and everything. Let me find that. Oh, right. Noah Spensky, in Search for the Miraculous, says, awakening is possible only for those who seek it and want it, for those who are ready to struggle with themselves and work on themselves for a very long time and very persistently in order to attain it, because it is an ongoing process. We're constantly working on ourselves because we easily fall back into old programs, and that's what we don't want to be doing. And in All and Everything, right, I found it, page 78. You bring about a contact between your consciousness and the various unconscious parts of your general presence. Try to make this state last and to convince the unconscious parts, as if they were conscious, that if they hinder your general functioning, they, in the period of your responsible age, not only cannot fulfill the good that befits them, but your general presence, of which they are part, will not be able to be a good servant of our common endless creator, and by that will not even be worthy to pay for your arising in an existence. And that's what this is all about. We're trying to arise and have a good existence that works with the divine source and is part of the harmonious cosmic development of the universe as it continues. And we want to be on the right side of doing this. So I wish you all well with your awakening. Let's all wake up together. We are waking up. Thank you for watching the video. And if you know other people that are interested in the Gurdjieff work, please tell them about my channel. I'm always willing to talk to more people. You can email me, leave a comment. But most of all, let's all wake up together. Thank you for watching. Till next time.